Hello and welcome to Larissa's Kitchen. Today we're delving back into the world of sweet tart desserts with a cranberry almond tart. This tangy dessert is made in two parts with a crust and a filling, and we're going to need to start with the filling first. The ingredients for the filling for this cranberry tart is very simple, as you can see. This is 12 ounces by weight of cranberries. Now you could use either fresh or frozen. I've got a cup of granulated sugar, 3 tablespoons of apricot preserves, and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So let's get this in the pan and get over to the stove. I've got my 2.5 quart saucepan on over medium-high heat. We're just going to continue heating this until the sauce thickens and all these cranberries pop. We are going to have to stir it frequently. Alright, this is simmering just a little too hard. I'm going to turn this down to medium. Okay, we're just going to let this cook for probably another 5 to 6 minutes. This needs to completely thicken up and all of these cranberries need to pop. Okay, you can see that this is thickened and all of these have popped. We don't want it too thick or we're not going to be able to pour it. We're going to let this come to room temperature, and while that happens, we're going to start working on the crust. Okay, we're getting started on this crust, and I will eventually tell you what all of this is. But to get started, we're going to need to toast 3.5 ounces by weight of sliced almonds. This is my 10-inch nonstick skillet, and I've got it on over medium heat. If you've never toasted nuts before, we toast them in a dry skillet. Now we are going to need to stir or toss these nuts continuously or else they're going to burn. This whole process should take 3 to 4 minutes. Alright, I need to get these almonds out of this pan so that they can cool down completely because we don't want them melting our butter. So I'm just going to go ahead and put them directly into the work bowl of my food processor. This is 9 ounces by weight of all-purpose flour. We're going to start by putting 2 tablespoons of this flour into the work bowl with our almonds and processing those until the almonds are chunky, but we don't want to make them powdered. Once we've processed the almonds, we're going to transfer those to a large bowl. We'll add the remaining flour, 1 3/4 ounces by weight of fine yellow cornmeal, and 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. And we're going to mix that all together by hand. Alright, you don't have to clean the work bowl of the food processor. We're going to go ahead and add 8 ounces of butter, that's 1 cup, that's been softened and cubed. And we're going to process that with 1 cup of white granulated sugar until it's light and fluffy. Next, we're going to add the zest of 1 lemon, 3/4 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and 1/4 teaspoon of pure almond extract to the food processor, and process that until it's light and fluffy too. Last, we go ahead and add the egg. We process that 30 or 40 pulses until it's completely processed and everything is completely mixed together. We'll need to scrape down the sides of the food processor while we do this. After that's all been processed smooth, we're going to add the dry ingredients back in and pulse it until it's just combined. We don't want to overwork this dough or it can become tough. We're going to take this dough over to the dry granite and get it together. We're going to divide it in half, and half of it is going in this 11-inch tart pan that I will have sprayed with a little bit of nonstick cooking spray. The other half is going to get formed into a disc. Then that's going to get wrapped in plastic wrap, and then both of these are going in the refrigerator to chill for a half an hour. Okay, I'm just going to roll this a little bit just to get it into shape. Yes, it's going to fall apart. We'll press it. That'll be fine. But I've got it on a little piece of plastic wrap so that I can transfer it to this pan easier. All right, we need to press this evenly into the bottom and up the sides, at least most of the way. Okay, we need to cover this with a sheet of plastic wrap also. And then both of these are going in the refrigerator for a half an hour. All right, when you lift up this tart, make sure that you hold it by the sides and then put it on a baking dish, because if you lift it by the bottom, you'll just push this out. I've got my oven preheating to 325 degrees, and I do have the convection oven on. We need to prick the bottom of this crust. I've got this on a sturdy baking dish. This is going in my oven for 30 to 35 minutes. We're going to keep an eye on it. It does need to be done, but we don't want it to be too brown. All right, we're going to leave the oven on while we add the filling and the topping. Okay, if this puffs up at all, we can press it down with either a spoon or a spatula. We need to make sure that there's plenty of room for all the filling in here. All right, and this looks pretty good. Okay, so let's get the filling in. Okay, and we need to evenly spread this over here, over the crust. All right, and then we're going to crumble the remaining crust onto the top. We're going to crumble it in pebble-sized pieces. Okay, back in that 325 degree oven for 30 minutes. Okay, we need to let this cool completely on this wire rack before we can depan and cut into it. So it's going to take at least an hour. All right, let's give this cranberry tart a taste. Now I've had this before and I know it's nice and tart, so I'm pairing it with a lovely vanilla ice cream. Also, I know the cat doesn't like it. Delicious.